everybody, and welcome back to Santa Fe Model Railroading. I'm your host, North Georgia Pete. In today's episode, we'll be doing part 3 of the Walthers DQ build. Today we'll be working on the parking lot. This episode is brought to you by Subscribe. Subscribe to keep it alive. And do not forget to ring that bell. Okay, if you watched the previous episodes, this is my prototype. It's Dairy Queen on Central Avenue, which is Route 66 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And in the 50s, you could drive up to this thing. It was sitting in a lot. You could drive up to it from any direction, park all the way around it, and I really liked that. In the 90s, 2000s, you couldn't do that. You could only park on the sides because the street was right up in front of it. They widened the street, and bam, it was right there. So I like the way it was in the 50s. So even though my layout's in the 80s and 90s, I'm going to do it like they had it in the 50s. So plenty of room on the lot so you can drive cars and park all the way around it. I like that. I want to do what I like. All right, here it is with the textured paint that I used on the floor for the outside sidewalk. I like the way it turned out. I'll post a picture of it here. It was a Rust-Oleum, I think, textured paint. I'm not sure the color. I'll let you know. But it turned out really good. So this is foam board. It's $1 at the dollar store. I got it in black because I'm doing asphalt. But you can get any color because you're going to paint it anyway. You're going to fade it, put some cracks in it. You're going to peel both sides of this paper off. If you don't peel the paper off and try to paint the paper, it'll warp. So it doesn't matter if you tear it up, you know, it has potholes in it anyway. And you want to get both sides, flip it over and do the other side. And like I said, you're going to paint it, you're going to put cracks in it. Don't matter if it has potholes in it. It's going to look old and nasty, just like a real parking lot. Okay, here's the finished product. It's perfectly flat. It won't warp when you put your paint on it. Don't worry if it's rough, you can fix it later. And now starts the fun part. I'm going to mock up my scenery here. I'm going to put the floor back on the asphalt driveway. I did buy some Chinese figures over the eBay, and they're kind of ugly, but you get 100 of them for like $2, so they're perfect for this kind of situation. I got 2 girls and a guy standing here in the Dairy Queen. The construction worker that looks like he's holding a bottle of 7-Up is actually Woodland Scenics. I'm going to paint him up, make him look like a DQ worker. Here's the paint that I used on the sidewalk. It's a Rust-Oleum, multicolored, textured Caribbean sand. I love it. I'm going to fade it a little bit with a brownish green yellow wash. Okay, continuing with my mock-up, I'm going to grab my walls and my roof, and I'm going to start fixing up the parking lot here. Putting some parking curves in, get everything straightened up. Just want to get a good idea of where placement should be and get the right scale here. I don't think I'm going to park anybody in the back, but I'll probably park 2 cars in the front, just like in the 50s, and 3 cars. Looks like there's room for 3 cars here on the side, but I'm not going to park anything in the back. I'm going to leave that alone. This is Evergreen scale model, half round, styrene plastic. I want to take a little measurement here and cut it with an X-Acto knife. Make a little mark on it. I'm just going to eyeball it, not really sure. Just going to see what looks good. Make a mark here. I think I'll take it off before I cut it here, so I don't cut into my foam. Cut it off, and there it is. It looks a little long, I guess. I don't know. Let me see if I have a car here. Test it. Looks a little big. Maybe not. Oh, it looks like it fits. I'm gonna go with that size anyway. Thinks it works for me. The good thing about this styrene is it's real flexible, and you can make nice little parking lot curving out of it. And I'll put landscaping on one side, and it'll be asphalt on the other side. So I'm going to continue mocking this up, and you'll be able to see it later. Hello everybody. Unfortunately, the San Pedro Mountain Railroad will be no more in this location. My landlord has told me that I'm going to have to move as soon as possible. So I never completed the circuit. Here was the last part I was working on to go around, which is one good thing that I finally switched it over to modules, because now it's going to be easier to move. I knew this day was coming. I didn't know it was going to come this soon. There is how far I got on the Dairy Queen project. But it would have been a great circuit. Very nice. Had a lot of potential. We expected to spend a couple more years here, but it's just not going to happen. So I'm praying to God that we don't go homeless, and He finds us a place to live, and hopefully it's going to be a forever house or forever home. I'm making a play for it, in a desperate plea to buy a house, so this never happens again. Probably will still go with the module on foam here, just because it's easier to deal with. That's about as far as I got. As you can see, I did paint the construction worker to look like a Dairy Queen worker, and he turned out pretty good actually. So this all is going to have to be packed up and moved, and I don't know when I'm going to come back on the channel. I'm hoping that next time I come back, we'll be working on the Dairy Queen project in a new location, a forever location. So everybody, I need your prayers. I need you to keep your fingers crossed. It's a sad day here at the railroad, but so let me finish this up. I ran out of juice there on the video, but yeah, I'm a renter. I've paid my rent here religiously for 8 years. Could have probably bought and paid for this house. We like it here. We like the location, but unfortunately, when you rent, your life is not in your own hands. And it gives you some freedom. You're not tied down, but when you're least expect it, things like this happen. So I'm hoping that we get a chance to buy a house. I'm praying to God that He lets it happen. Whatever happens, happens, or it's in God's hands. So hopefully I'll be back on the channel, finishing up this railroad in a new location, like I said, a forever home. I really had a good time with this layout when it was in the 4x8s. And I just, like I said, I just switched it over to modules. I'm glad I did, because now it's going to be a lot easier to move. I can just stack them things up and take them with me. So what's going to be hard is putting all the trains back in their boxes and putting them in a crate and hauling them off. So it's been fun. Like I said, I'll be back on the channel as soon as I can, as soon as the new railroad is up. If the railroad never comes back, at least I'll have a program track, and I'll start working on putting in DCC, putting in LED lights, putting in all kinds of neat stuff. I mean, that's all you really need. Is I just need a 36-inch piece of Easy Track and my Digitrax programmer, and I'm happy. You know, I really don't need all this. You know, it just kind of grew and grew and grew, and I had a great time with it. And I really appreciate you guys that are watching the channel. Like I said, I hope you have me in my prayers. We really want to keep it going. So next time I sign on, hopefully we'll have good news for you. Thanks for watching. North Georgia Pete and the San Pedro Mountain Railroad signing off.
And saving their home. There would not be a Cherokee history that is here in these mountains. Now this building, this little white building, is the old Almond Depot. Almond, as I had stated before, is in the middle of Lake Montana. But what happened is Almond has a zip code. And what they needed was some kind of a marker to designate where Almond is. So they brought that depot up out of the water, they plugged it right down there, and its only purpose is
Thank you.